Among the ground vehicles found at Rank 5, 4 self-propelled anti-aircraft guns stand out as vehicles situated right on the boundary between two technological eras. They differ from earlier SPAAs not just in their versatility or firepower, but in a key piece of equipment, as they are fitted with a radar, a defining feature of modern anti-air systems. Radar-equipped models include the Swedish VOC 40, the Chinese PGZ-88, the Soviet ZSU-37-2 Yenisei, and the British Falcon. Some other SPAAs, such as the American M163, also have a special piece of equipment that makes their job easier, a radio rangefinder, which helps calculate the correct lead when engaging moving air targets, but it cannot actually detect them. Radar does a different job. It constantly scans a sector, usually a full circle, and picks up aircraft on its own. Once a target is found, you can lock it using the target acquisition system. Radar works best against jets at medium or high altitudes, while helicopters and low-flying planes are trickier to detect. That said, the early radars that you get with Rank 5 SPAAs are far from perfect. Besides the issues that we've already mentioned, their effective engagement range is only about 2 kilometers, 3 at best. The detection radius, though, is much wider, up to 25 kilometers for the Yenisei, 24 for the Chinese vehicle, 15 for the Falcon, and 12 for the VOC. In practice, 10 kilometers is more than enough. The main thing is to see which direction the threat is coming from and get ready in time. Don't bother firing from long range. Wait until the enemy is lining up a bombing run or passing close by. A short, accurate burst is better than a long barrage, as it doesn't give away your position as much. For all their similarities, the 4 SPAAs play quite differently. The Yenisei is best suited to engaging jets and late-generation propeller-driven aircraft at medium ranges. Thanks to its rapid-fire cannons and powerful burst, this SPAA makes short work of flying targets. Its 37mm high-explosive shells deal critical damage to any aircraft on impact. Its high damage output might make you believe that ground targets are also easy pickings, but fighting tanks in the Yenisei is not particularly easy. The vehicle is quite sluggish. Its armor is thin enough that it can sometimes be destroyed even by artillery fragments. The guns have only 1 degree of depression, and the stabilizer also cuts out at any speed above 25 kilometers an hour. Certain opponents, such as the German VOC, can destroy the Yenisei at close range with impunity, while tanks like the Leopard 1 require precise shots to vulnerable spots, for instance, the gap between the turret and hull. Also worth noting, the Yenisei's radar defaults to a sector scanning mode, and you'll need to manually switch it to the 360-degree scan mode with an appropriate keybind. The British Falcon, just like the Yenisei, is primarily an anti-aircraft specialist. Its standout feature is a pair of 30mm autocannons firing extremely powerful rounds, with over 80 grams of explosive per each HE shell, and a rate of fire above 600 rounds per minute. With that, the Falcon can shred any aircraft in a matter of seconds. However, this SPAA lacks a dedicated search radar. Its target acquisition equipment scans only a 90-degree sector directly ahead of the vehicle. Against some opponents, particularly helicopters at close range, it's often easier to aim manually, like on the SPAAs of the previous era. The Falcon also struggles against tanks, as its APHE rounds can penetrate the defenses of medium tanks only from the sides or rear. Light vehicles, however, are not a problem at all. You can crack them open and send them back to their garages just as fast as planes. The Chinese PGZ-88 feels like a more versatile version of the Soviet design. It uses the same 37mm caliber, but has much better gun depression and features hull armor that can stop autocannon fire. On the other hand, it's even slower than the Yenisei, and its rate of fire is also lower, though the burst damage is still solid. You can play it similarly to the British Chieftain marksman or the German Gepard. The PGZ-88 does well in ambushes against first-generation MBTs like the AMX-30 or OF-40, where the NSA forces you into awkward positions because of its poor depression and superstructure layout. The PGZ-88 is just more forgiving. It's also fitted with a laser rangefinder, which helps with delivering accurate fire at longer ranges. Finally, the Swedish VOC 40 is the most well-rounded of the bunch. It has great acceleration, a high top speed, and fast turret traverse. Its 40mm Bofors gun fires rounds with even more punch and penetration, especially up close. The VOC suits active, aggressive players who can use its mobility to flank their opponents, or hit enemy aircraft from unexpected angles. Just try not to expose your turret or hull to enemy fire. This SPAA is quite a big target, with not much armor to make up for the size. In real life, none of the 4 SPAAs made it past the prototype stage. The NSA and PGZ-88 were doomed by their subpar electronic equipment and lost out to competitors. The USSR went with the much faster-firing Shilka, which put up a denser wall of fire, while China eventually licensed Swiss Ehrlichen cannons. The VOC 40 was nearly perfect, but proved to be too expensive for the Swedish military, and the Falcon simply didn't fit the plans of the British Ministry of Defense. In War Thunder, though, you can try them all and see what they're truly capable of. Which one do you like the best? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments down below.